Hi everyone, it's Maddie, and today we're going to be discussing Cress by Marissa Meyer. This is the third book in the highly raved about Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. If you've read this series, you know why it's highly raved about. I love it. I would rave along with the ravers because oh my gosh, this series is so good. If you have not read Cinder or Scarlet, which are the prequels to this book, I'll just explain a little bit real quick. The Lunar Chronicles is a retelling series of famous fairy tales. Cinder is a retelling of Cinderella, Scarlet is a retelling of Red Riding Hood, Cress is a retelling of Rapunzel, and Winter, which will be coming out this year, is a retelling of Snow White. It's like really sci-fi and set really far into the future. Lucky for you, I have a Cinder book talk and a Scarlet book talk. I'll link those down below so you can go watch them so you're not spoiled on anything in this, because I don't want to spoil you on this series. I want you to go and read this series. If there's one thing I really want is a Cinder movie. See, we keep having cheesy remakes of Cinderella. It's the same thing, like over and over again. There's the Selena Gomez one, there's the Hilary Duff one. But, if we were to have Cinder come into the theaters as a retelling of Cinderella, but we didn't market it as specifically a retelling of Cinderella, I think it would make so much money. Cress lives in a satellite. Now, she was put in this satellite because she was born as a lunar, but she's a shell, meaning she doesn't have any abilities. She can't glamour herself and she can't control anybody else. She happens to be a very good hacker, and so she ends up being the hacker slash like technology person for the Lunars. In this satellite for her whole life, she's been forced to create little other realities. She's a dreamer. I love her. Like, Cress is probably my favorite protagonist so far because she's adorable. She's really petite, but she can still kick butt. I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, or a 96% on my scale. We get to see all of the characters from the prior books. I couldn't put it down because the plot kicked butt. It was really intense, and I was just wanting to flip every single page immediately because I wanted to find out what was happening to these characters, because it's building up to this big thing where you know there's gonna probably be a war, and when there's war, there's a lot of action, and there's probably gonna be some death, which I'm not gonna look forward to. Marissa Meyer tweeted that characters who she thought were gonna survive at the end actually die. What if Captain Thorn dies? That's honest. Captain Thorn, what if he dies? That's my main concern, because Captain Thorn is my favorite character. That is the end of the non-spoiler section, so if you have not read this book, I would read it, or read its prequels, and then we can come back and we can discuss it. I read this a while ago, and I'm only just filming my book talk today, so if it's scattered and all over the place, that is why. Thorn was blind. Did he get his sight back in the end of the book? The thing that I liked about this book is that Captain Thorn is such a womanizer. Like, he goes for everyone because he thinks they're, like, attractive, but he falls for Cress without actually ever seeing what she looks like. Oh my god, when they were falling from the satellite, I seriously thought they were gonna die. I was like, why would you have a whole book named Cress where they crash and Cress and Thorn die? I love looking at the parallels between the fairy tales. When he cut her hair, I kept imagining Flynn Rider and Rapunzel in the tower in the scene from Tangled. There's a part where it uses a quote from Rapunzel where she cries into his eyes and they bring sight back. I was like, how are we gonna make this a thing? But now she has to put the eye drops in his eyes to make his sight come back. So, see what you did there, Marissa Meyer. We need to work out something where Wolf cannot get controlled by the Lunars, because he's so much of a hassle when it comes to battle scenes because he can never pick a side. Part of him is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help because it's Scarlet, I love her, Cinder's cool and stuff, but then the Wolf part of him is like, Lunar. I couldn't stand how annoyed he got after that, how he was so moody and attacked Cinder when he found out that Scarlet was taken. Like, it wasn't her fault that Scarlet was taken. It was your fault, dude. Oh god, and poor Scarlet got her finger chopped off. God, reading that hurt. I was like, oh no, Winter comes in and is like,
oh, Lavana says I can keep you as a pet.
That's when I started reading her as Luna Lovegood, because she was like,
everyone here thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not really crazy. All I see is the blood dripping from the walls.
She refuses to use her power, which I like, because she knows that it would just hurt people and it would hurt herself, but not using it really messes her up. Like, she's going insane. She sees blood dripping from the walls. I got the impression that Winter was like a 12-year-old or maybe even a 10-year-old, but apparently she's 17. Maybe in this retelling, she's gonna fall in love with the huntsman, who's Jason. Like, Jason is the huntsman. He's sent to protect her, but then again, he's like part of the Queen's Guard, but he fell in love with her anyway. I love that Aiko has a new body. She's not the ship anymore, she's now an escort droid, and I love that Captain Thorn did that for her. Like, Captain Thorn doesn't come off as a very nice guy, but he's really considerate when you think about it, and it's awesome. I love Cress so much. All of her hacking things were awesome. I love that she researched Captain Thorn prior to finding him, like fangirled over him and imagined meeting him and falling in love. I love the part when they kidnapped Prince Kai, and she was just like, I'm sorry, I have to shoot you now, and she shot him him, and then he wakes up and he's like, did you shoot me? Yeah. I'm so glad he let her explain being a cyborg, because he thought that she wore the glamour to like defeat him or something. She didn't even know she was wearing a glamour, and she just didn't want him to know she was a cyborg because she was embarrassed, but he loved her. Cyborg parts and all, and they kiss, and it was cute. And I can't wait to read Winter because it's gonna wrap it all up. I think it's like 800 pages. That's so big, and I'm so excited. So many pages and words. Have you read this book? If you have, tell me down below in the comments what you thought, and we can discuss it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'm Maddie. I'll see you next time. Bye.